Sorry.
I got the brush one of them. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, no.
The lion is colored like yellow grass with a high touch. In our crocodiles look like submerged logs at the water's edge. Even the giraffe is patterned like shadows that fall under the trees with their brows fringed. If you see an animal, help others around you by pointing it out to them. But remember, shouting or making loud noises will distract and disturb them, so try to speak softly. Motivate closer to the animals in their natural habitats. Halfway through the trip, a safari light is so clear it is perfect. Space on the trail is limited, so be certain to book your adventure in advance.
is not right now.
Back in the land, they play try
Hello everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari. Before we begin your trip, you should know that the video will contain roughly 1
We made it, guys.
after an hour.
Alright. With no food or water. Or food. For 20 minutes.
I have food.
You did. I want some buffalo chicken wings with blue cheese dressing. Ooh, here we go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cindy. I'm your safari driver today as we make our way out on the up to 34 different species of animals. First of all, we'll call that animal spotted guide. Located up there above your head. Do my best to find as many for you out there as I can today. Before we head out into the reserve, just a couple of quick reminders, friends. Keep those arms, hands, legs, and feet, everything inside of the vehicle at all times. Making sure you keep a tight grip of anything in your hands, like your cell phones and your cameras. Also, make sure anything on your head, like your hat, glasses, your ears, make sure everything is secure. If something falls off the truck, we cannot stop to pick it up. If something falls off, just give me a little wave. They can wave at you. We're going to wave goodbye to each other. And I will call in. They'll get picked up. You'll be able to pick it up at destination towards the end of the night. But like I said, keep a tight grip on those items. Also, make sure that you keep yourselves in your seats, friends. There is no standing allowed at any time during the safari. Please make sure you remain fully seated, friends. All right, we are clear to start our safari. We're going to head into the little Achuri forest. Looking already the foliage for the animals that like to blend in out here. They are massive camouflage. The marks and the colors are supposed to blend in. Let's see what we can find. On your right side, right there, the okapi. The okapi blends in real well with that dark brown coat and the zebra-like stripes on their legs. That's an animal spotted guide up there above your head. Do not have any vocalizations, though. They communicate with each other by rattling their bills. All right, friends, over to your left, black rhinoceros out in the distance, kind of back along that rock wall there. Black rhinos very solitary and territorial, most active in the evening hours. That's usually when they're out doing their socializing and their mating. Coming in about 3,000 pounds when they are fully grown. So black rhinos are going to be the smaller of the two rhinos that call the reserve home. Hopefully we'll see some white rhinos a little further up, and you can see the difference between them in size. Then the difference between them is their mouths. The black rhinos have a pointed upper lip that is prehensile, so they use their upper lip kind of like a finger to grab their food. See the other saddle-billed sort just up ahead here. This one's standing so you get a little better look at it. And there's a few antelopes. So the tan ones without the horns are the greater kudu. They are females, and when the males will have horns. Now the reddish brown ones all the way up along the back. Those are the bongos. Bongos are the largest and heaviest forest antelope. All of them will have horns, and they are so rarely seen out in the wild. They are referred to as the ghosts of the forest. right, friends, as we come into the Safi River region, first animal we're seeing down there is a bird. Those are pink-backed pelicans down there. Getting their name because when it's nesting season for the specific pelican, the color of the skin under their feathers will turn pink. They are colonial nesters, so they nest in large groups referred to as pods. And of course the hippos. Two big male hippos over there on your right-hand side. Now, full-grown hippo going to get to about 5,000 pounds when it is full-grown, so a lot bigger than that black rhino we saw. Now, the hippopotamus do spend a majority of their day in the rivers. They will usually spend about 16 hours of the day in the water to keep their skins protected from the sun. When they need air, if they're in the river, they can pop just their head up. So their head, eyes, ears, nostrils, everything's right at the top of their head. So they can pop just their nose up to get the air they need. Hippopotamus actually is a Greek word that means river horse, and they are close relatives of whales and dolphins. But unlike their relatives, hippos do not swim. They walk and run on the riverbed. That is how they move around, like that one right there. Look under the water, and there's a hippo moving right there. It's walking on the riverbed. They are quite fast as well. They're faster than us out of the water. They can move at about 30 miles per hour.
I think you see him.
There's two more right here. Now they are herbivores. Typically going to eat grass in the overnight hours. They'll leave the river, go inland to graze. They're going to eat about 100 pounds of vegetation a day. Now to cross out of the river region, guys, the Nile crocodiles out there found in pretty much any body of water in Africa. They're going to average about 16 to 500 pounds. They can't get much bigger than that. They are able to eat half their body weight in a single meal. So they tend to only eat meat one time a week. During extreme droughts, their food becomes very scarce. They can go for months and months without eating at all. 2,000 passenger pressure per square inch in a crocodile's bite. That is going to be enough strength to crush the bones of their prey. So we've seen a handful of animals, a lot of them left though. Most of those animals are going to call the savannah home, which is the next part of the reserve and the largest part. It's also home to a lot of big trees like the one over here on the right, the baobab tree. Now that tree is leafless like that for about 9 months out of the year. Conserving energy, it is able to survive extreme droughts by going leafless. After the rainy season is past, it will sprout for about 3 months. The trunk of the tree on the inside, it is spongy. So the tree is able to hold thousands of gallons of water inside it, making a lifeline to animals during times of drought, which gives the tree the nickname as the Tree of Life. Now, as we come on to the savannah, the first animal we're seeing is going to be the zebras. They're going to be over here to the right. Hartman's mountain zebra, one of 3 types of zebras you'll find. They are the ones that call the reserve home. They have a dewlap, which is the flap of skin that hangs underneath their neck. They're the only zebra that has that, found in the mountain ranges. So they do have smaller hooves. They also have the largest heart instead of lungs of any of the zebras. And the 2 little ones you're seeing, those are zebra foals. They are the youngest animals here on the reserve, both 8 months old. When they're born, their stripes are brown. They'll darken as they mature. They're also born with legs almost as long as a full-grown zebra's. And the zebras, as well as all the other animals that we're going to see out here on the reserve, except the predators. The rest of these animals, they're young, have the ability to stand up, and they will be walking or running, usually within about 30 minutes of birth, which is very important for these animals. That is their protection from predators. They need to keep up with their herds for safety. Now, there are some domesticated animals on the reserve. The first one you're seeing right out there in the center on your right, the Ankole cattle. The Ankole cattle, seen as a symbol of wealth in some countries of Africa. The more cattle a farmer has, the wealthier their hogs be. Those big horns on their head weigh about 15 pounds maybe in total weight. They're honeycomb structure inside, lots of blood vessels in them, and they can get anywhere from 3 to 4 feet long on each side. Our first predator is on the left. The painted dogs. A lot of people have probably never heard of them. They are the most successful hunters of the savannah. Their success rate hunting is about 90%, higher than the lions and the cheetahs combined. They've worked as a pack. So the pack will have an alpha male and an alpha female, chasing their prey until it drops. So their long, lean legs, they can run about 30 miles per hour, and they'll hold that speed for about 3 miles as they chase down their prey. They do not bark, they communicate with chirping sounds. They are not relatives of domesticated dogs in any way. We're coming through this area. carry lots of these big mounds. These are termite mounds. So the termites don't leave the inside of it. The outside is going to be made of their saliva mixed with dirt and dung. They will get very large and hard as concrete, and animals like to use those. It's kind of like a scratching post. They'll rub up against them. Now the wildebeest are going to form the largest gathering of mammals after humans. Their herds can number upwards of 1.5 million. Constantly on the move, chasing the rains to keep up with the rains for their food. And they can smell the rain and they are up to a mile away. Now the wildebeest going to have the longest migration of all the animals. They will travel upwards of 1,000 miles every year with their migration. The locals also refer to wildebeest as new. G-N-U. That's going to be for the low snorting sounds that they make in their large herds. Coming up on our first giraffe here on the reserve, one of 9 subspecies. These are Maasai giraffe, named for the Maasai tribe. And the little tiny antelope right here, guys, on your right, that's a springbok. So that springbok and the giraffe have the same number of vertebrae in their neck as everybody else, which is 7. All mammals have 7. Now the little springbok, they're the fastest antelope. They're actually the 3rd fastest land mammal. Their top speed about 55 miles per hour. There's a few more of them over here. Now giraffe will stand 18 to 20 feet tall at their full height, making them the tallest land mammals. Very long and flexible necks, like I said, the same number of vertebrae. The 2 bumps that you see between their ears, those are skin-covered bones, which are referred to as ossicles. All giraffes will have those. Now, a giraffe has a 4-chambered stomach, so that is referred to as a ruminant, and giraffes will spend about 20 hours of their day eating. They eat the foliage up in the trees that are reached at their height, and a very long tongue, like the cousin seal copy. The giraffe's tongue is actually about 18 inches long. Prehensile as well, and it's going to be a deep grayish purple color. The dark color of their tongue is what will keep it from getting sunburned since they spend so much of their time eating. Only need to sleep about 30 minutes of their day. And they will break that 30 minutes up throughout the day. Typically will sleep standing up, sometimes with their eyes wide open. Giraffe, very powerful kick with their legs. That's their protection and their speed. Now the other antelopes out there with the giraffes, that's one of the largest antelopes out there. Those are the Patterson Zealand. The big male, he's the one on the left. He's going to be about 2,000 pounds. Stands about 6 feet tall at his shoulder. So they are one of the largest, but they are one of the slowest. And compared to the springbok, who can run 55 miles per hour, the eland's top speed only going to be about 15 miles per hour. Lots more of these baobab trees are now animals able to access the spongy water inside. Like elephants, rhinos, they can pierce the outside of the tree with their tusks and their horns to access the water inside, or they will dig into the bark of the tree, like you see on these trees up ahead here. Those look like elephant tusk barks to me, because the bark also contains moisture, so animals can chew on the bark during times of drought. Now, unfortunately, I'm not seeing any elephants out here at the moment. Lots of flamingos though. These are greater flamingos, which are going to be the largest and the lightest pink in color. So flamingo, when it hatches, is not pink, they are gray. Gray becomes white, which turns to pink once they reach full maturity, and that's thanks to their diet of brine shrimp. It's the beta-carotene in the shrimp and the algae that they eat. That's what gives them their pink color. I'm going to stop here because you've got the flamingos, and there's an elephant, friends, out in the distance. There's an African elephant right there. The African elephant is the largest land mammal. Males will reach 15,000 pounds and 13 feet in height. Female is going to be about 10,000 pounds and 10 feet tall, and they are fully grown. Now, male elephants usually found by themselves, like that one out there. They will leave the family herd once they reach maturity, which is around 15 years of age. Female elephants, on the other hand, will stay together in the same herd for their entire life. They raise their young together as one large family unit. There's that elephant right there out in the distance. We're also coming up on the second largest mammal after the elephants, the white rhinos. I do see a couple of them just up ahead here. Let's catch them before they disappear. Now, white rhinos are going to get you about 5,000 pounds, and they are fully grown and stand about 6 feet tall as well. They are also more social than black rhinos. White rhinos usually found in groups that are called a crash of rhinos. And we do a mother and her calf. This little calf is 2 years old. So we got rhinos and we got cheetahs. On the hill over there on the left. Cheetah is the fastest land mammal. They can reach speeds upwards of 70, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And they can hold that for about 200 or 300 yards before they tire. There are actually 3 of them, almost right in the line. The third one right down at the bottom here. Now we have something in common with these rhinos, friends. Anybody know what that is? That is what their horns are made of. Their horns are made of the exact same thing as your hair and fingernails. That is keratin. Sadly, they are the most hunted and poached animals on the face of the earth. They're hunted for those horns, which some cultures believe have medicinal powers, or they simply want them as a trophy, but they will continue to grow, friends. They're going to rub those horns up against hard surfaces to file them down to the shape that they like. A couple more cheetahs on the move right here. Now we're coming up on a big rock formation here. This is called the Kobe. The Kobe on the reserve, home to our last predator. We are looking for the most social yet elusive of the large cats, and that is the pride of lions. Now, lions, friends, do sleep and rest about 16 to 20 hours of the day. They're most active in the early morning and in the evening hours, so keep your fingers crossed that we get a lion spotting out here today. Let's see what we can find. Ostriches, lots of ostriches here. These all 3 are females. Gray feathers are females, black feathers are the males. Largest bird. Ostriches can stand anywhere from 6.5 feet tall to 9 feet tall. They are a flightless bird though. Can run about 40 miles per hour. So ostrich is actually one of the fastest animals on 2 legs. Alright, let's go. Oh, I've got lions in the back, guys. I spotted the lions. A male and a lioness right in the back here. Now, the lion's vision during the day is about like ours. At night it is 6 times stronger, so the most of the hunting is done in the evening hours. They will communicate, of course, with their roars, which on a quiet day, that sound will travel about 5 miles away. Within the pride, the females will do the majority of the hunting as a group, because their prey will be much faster than they are. While the females hunt, the male will stay behind and protect the younger members of the pride. The male lion will constantly be patrolling his territory, watching for rival male lions. Now on the right-hand side, if you look close, you're going to see a couple of furry brown antelopes. One sitting right in the back there, and the other one a little further up. Those are water bucks. Water bucks, as their name implies, stand very close to water. They do not migrate. They drink excessive amounts of it. Water also important for the water bucks because that's where they go to escape predators. Their coat is water repellent. So they will swim into deep water to escape those predators. One over on the right-hand side, some ostrich eggs right there. One of those eggs will weigh about 3 pounds. So about 24 chicken eggs to equal 1 ostrich egg. And they can hold up to 250 pounds of weight on top of it without cracking. Very strong shell. We are now coming up on the Warden's Post, home to a herd of Nigerian goats, our second domesticated animal. These are dairy goats, and their milk very sweet and nutritious. Considered high value by farmers that raise them because they are able to take the milk and of course make things like cheese, butter, and yogurt, all items they can then sell to local villagers for additional form of income. Have you rely less on a wildlife. And the goats, friends, they are going to bring us to the exit of the reserve. We are going to head on back to the village now. As we're heading back, there is one last thing I would like to talk about. That's the difference that all of you can make in the lives of animals around the world. We can all be conservation heroes in the comfort of our own homes by doing our best to reduce, reuse, and recycle whatever possible. Reduce your energy and water consumption at home by turning the lights off when you leave the room and the water off when you brush your teeth. Reusable water bottles and shopping bags is a great way to slowly eliminate single-use plastics, and of course recycling whatever you can. Cardboard, paper, glass, plastic, and also don't forget electronics, guys. Lots of electronics are made from an ore called coltan, like cell phones, laptops, and tablets. Coltan, friends, is mining for the habitat of animals, so gorillas are especially targeted by that mining. Please make sure that you are not forgetting electronics when you're recycling. As we approach the station to get you guys on with your day, make sure you look around. If you have any personal belongings that you brought on board with you, make sure nothing gets left behind when you depart today. Any